Hey guys, thanks for visiting Bit to Brain. My name is Jesse. There's a lot of people who are looking into taking the ITIL exam. I just took it a couple days ago, and they don't really know. You go to a forum and someone says, "Oh, it's easy," or "It's hard," or whatever. Which I hate that kind of stuff because that's all kind of relative. I mean, if I've been doing this for a couple of years and I studied for a few weeks and I took it, it's probably going to be easy for me. But if like myself, I've never studied ITIL, IT Service Management. I don't have a lot of work experience with this. And basically, I studied in a few days and took the exam. So it's not going to be quite as easy for me, I think, as someone else. Now, what you need to know about the ITIL exam is it's 40 questions. Which you can see this on the objectives, by the way. Go to ITIL, check out the objectives, and you'll see that there's 40 questions. There's 26 you need to get right, which we're talking 65%. That doesn't seem so hard, but take the practice exam. They have a practice exam there you can take. I didn't score very high on it. I mean, I took it before I actually even started studying. I was just kind of curious. It's just an assessment to see where I stood, and it wasn't very pretty. I was like 50%. You'll get out of the 40, maybe, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe 10 that you go, this is kind of common sense, because they'll ask you about, if you don't know anything about ITIL, it's broken down the whole life cycle into 5 phases, 26 processes. So there's processes within each phase, and there's 4 functions. So it breaks it all down. And for this, you're going to need to know the terms. You'll be asked a lot on the terms, the difference between processes, procedures, serviceability, maintainability, bullshitability. I mean, all this stuff you need to know cold. So when I first started studying, I took the practice exam, and like I said, I got around 50%, and I was like, oh, hey, this is probably going to be not so bad, because a lot of the answers are actually within the questions. Okay, so let's say they're asking a question and the answer is on a process in service design. Well, they might have a reference to design in the question, and then the answer will have that related. Mention design. So you go, which process is this? And they'll mention design. Then the options are, service strategy, service operation, and service design. You go, oh, well, it's service design because that's in there. They don't try to trip you up with that. It's probably going to be the answer. So there's a lot of that, and like I said, I studied hardcore for a few days when I decided to take ITIL, because I'm not one of those guys who takes practice exams and go, I need to get 95% on the practice exam before I even take the real thing. I'm not like that, because at the end of the day, no one cares what you got. Okay, there's no validation. It's just, do you have this or not? A little bit about myself this year. I had no certifications before this year. I went in and I took I got a Microsoft and an Apple one, but then I took the CompTIA trifecta, the A+, Net Plus, and Security Plus. I took the Net Plus first, which is a little different, and then I took the 2 parts for the A+, and then I took the Security Plus. And, I spent a little more time on those than I did this. Not that they're any more difficult. I feel there's a broader range of material in the CompTIA exam, so if you're taking ITIL and you have experience in CompTIA, I'm just telling you that it's similar in difficulty, I think. It's just that there's so much more, like in an A+. A+ is kind of weird because they'll ask you these questions that are really simplistic, and then there's stuff that it's just kind of off the wall that you need to look in the books to figure it out. So not that one is necessarily more difficult than the other. It's just, if you know the processes and phases and functions within ITIL, you'll do well. I know the terms because you're going to need to know that. And they word questions in such a way, because CompTIA kind of does this too. I felt that there's more on the ITIL exam, because this is ITIL Foundation. I have no intention of getting intermediate, expert, master, because to me the juice isn't worth the squeeze. A lot of these employers are just looking for ITIL Foundation. So I feel if you get that, you'll be good for right now. And now if they ask for more than that when you're there, then do it. But I mean, right now, all this stuff, getting these certifications, you have to have realistic expectations going in, because I was a bit naive this year. I thought, oh, I'll get the A+, Net Plus, Security Plus, and I'm going to be good to go. I mean, I'm golden. You see on Glassdoor where it's, the average Security Plus guy is making $80,000 or whatever it may be. what you have to remember is a lot of these people are already in these job positions, all right, and they're required to get that, or they're coming from 20 years of experience, or they have a computer science degree. They have all these things that put them in place to make that money. It's not just, oh, there's Security Plus and right away they're making all this money. It doesn't really work like that. Remember, these are entry-level certifications. I've not taken anything this year that's beyond entry level, you know, and the ITIL included, ITIL version 3 Foundation or whatever it is. But it's just entry level. So don't have grandiose expectations that you're going to be at the top of all these, resumes, because just remember, ITIL, CompTIA, even Microsoft certification, stuff like that, CCNA. These are just baseline requirements a lot of times, and it's just you're trying to get through the database when you're applying for jobs, or there's someone there just rubber stamping in HR. It's like, oh, this guy's got 20 years of experience. Oh, but I don't see Net Plus. Well, he goes in this pile or the recycle bin, And then this guy's got 2 years of experience. Oh, but he's got his Net Plus and he's got an ITIL too. Oh, well, he's going to go in this pile for further processing. I mean, it sucks that it's like that, but don't fight the wheel, That's the way it is nowadays. So get the certifications if you have to. But by the same token, I see a lot of people, they're like chicken shit to take these exams. Not that they're not hard, they're not easy. It's just depending on your experience and your study material. It's really important. If you've been in the field for a few years and you go to take your A plus or Net Plus, don't think that you're just going to go in there and take it and I missed 1 or 2 questions. It's not. I don't think you're going to be able to do that. I don't think that's realistic. Get good study material and don't worry about getting 95% on the practice exams before you sit for the exam. I see that happen way too often. There's a guy I know. This guy knows twice as much about hardware and OS stuff that I know. It's ridiculous. And this guy, for months and months and months, did not even take his A plus. He said, "Oh, I'm still studying for it." What the hell? This guy, I took the A plus, I took the Net Plus, Security Plus, and this guy still hadn't even taken his A plus, the first part yet. And this guy would ace it, no problem. But he's like, "Oh, I took a practice exam and I got 94% on it. I don't think I'm ready yet." Don't worry about getting high scores. Don't worry about the guys on the forums like, "I missed 1 or 2. Who cares? I'm the type, I want to get it done, out of the way, and go on to the next thing. So that's, in my opinion, that's the best way to do it. Now, as far as study material for the ITIL, I basically used lynda.com. I feel that's great to use that. It's $25 a month if you don't want to get work. They have a deal where it's $25 a month for access to their whole library, all their courses, or $37.50 if you want to get the ancillary materials, the work files and whatnot, but you don't need that for this. So for $25 a month, they have a course by a guy named Mark Thomas. It's excellent. I recommend watching it twice because if you're like me, you're just like, oh, what is all this stuff in the beginning? And I personally, I'm someone who likes dynamic training and the static. So I kind of like watching the videos, and then I like seeing the printed form, and I can kind of, hopefully some of it soaks in. So I would watch on my iPad. He's got a lot of PowerPoint slides and stuff, so I take snapshots. That way I can reference it and then go back and watch videos. Or if you're watching on your Mac, you hit Command-Shift-4, capture the whole screen, put it in my Dropbox. I can go reference it as needed. So the Mark Thomas course is excellent. It's by Lynda, like I said, $25. So you just sign up, bam, you get it, and hopefully take your exam within a month and pass it and be done with it. They also have an A+, which, by the way, talking about CompTIA, there's so many like boot camps out there, and there's so many, community college. They're offering, A+ preparatory studying and Net Plus and Security Plus and all that. And man, even the community college around here is with extra fees like $160 a credit, something like that. So let's say it's 3 credits. Let's say 150. It's roughly 150 with the extra stuff. 450 to 500 for a 3 credit class, and then you've got, but it might be 4 credits, so we're going to say 600 to 650. That's a lot of money that you're spending even before you're taking the exam. And all you have to show for it is I took a community college course. I don't know. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze there either. So I recommend if you're going to take your A+, you get, well, the first thing I'd recommend is to watch Professor Messer videos. He's got great source content, study material for A+, Net Plus, Security Plus. It's excellent. I recommend that first because it's free. And he also has PDF files you could download for like $10 a pop. There's a few of those. And that's excellent. You can reference that too. It's like all this information in one consolidated place, which is great. But I also recommend this book right here. It's by David Prowse. And that costs you $30 on Amazon. It's a Prime member. I got that, watched Professor Messer videos. I passed it. It cost me $30. That's all I spent and some time. Now, the Net Plus, I got this book by Todd Lamel. And that's also an excellent study guide. It's actually, it's almost like attacking the Net Plus with a sledgehammer. It's not as bad as Mike Myers with his giant book. It's like twice the size of a Bible for A+, but this is just a great book for Net Plus for studying, but it's also a great reference guide. I guess if you're in the field, it's just there's like 700 pages, tons of information on there. Todd Lamb also does a lot of Cisco training. That's excellent. I also got this book here, which isn't totally necessary, but it was great study material as well. So with these two books, let's say it was $60 in all. So still I'm at less than $100. Professor Messer videos. And then finally, for the Security Plus, I got this book here by Daryl Gibson. Also an excellent book. And I think this book is all you really need for Security Plus. I took the 301. Now there's a 401. But I don't know if he has study material yet. I'm sure he will soon. Excellent guide, and again, Professor Messer video. So this cost me, I think, $30 as well. So maybe with all this together, $120 to $130. Now compare that. That's not even a college credit. Okay, a community college credit. I just don't think it's worth going that route unless it's part of an overall curriculum and you get a degree or something. I just feel for these certifications, self-study is the way to go. There's so much out there. There's a lot of junk on YouTube that is not really that helpful, but as far as the CompTIA stuff goes, there's so much out there. Professor Messer videos, he's got the whole thing laid out, A+, Net Plus, and Security Plus. He's got new videos for the 401 as well, so yeah, in regards to the Security Plus. So I definitely recommend going that route. And as far as the ITIL, I mentioned the Mark Thomas videos on Linda. Excellent. And there's a YouTube video. There's a lot of junk on YouTube, but there's one video in particular, I think it's around 20 minutes. I'll put a link in the description to the video. It was great because it basically lays out the phases in the life cycle. It lays out the processes within that, the functions that you'll need to know, and some terms. And I thought this is a really handy 20-minute video. I watched that before I took my exam. A couple hours before. The last two things I looked at was that video, and my third source that I looked at before I went in there and took the exam was Wikipedia. I know people go, oh, that's not really a valid source, but you know what? That's BS. It is. I mean, you need to know the terms. The thing about this in regards to ITIL is it has so much information. It's not really in regards to foundation level. It's, I think, also includes information intermediate, expert, and master level, which I don't need all that stuff. But it was just great just to kind of pick and choose as like a refresh. So, like with the terms and whatnot for ITIL, because you're going to need to know the terms. That's really important. I had several questions on mine out of the 40 that were asking me about specific terms. And it's really important that you know those terms when you go to sit for the exam, because you will be asked about that stuff. And like I said, when you take this exam, I'm the type, I'm not worried about getting perfect scores. I hope you're like that too, because some people will just sit there and it's like paralysis by analysis. They never take the exam because they're so nervous. Everyone gets nervous taking these exams. It's money. It's time you spent. It's time as much as the money. It's like, God, I spent all this time. I don't want to have to go retake this again. It's just an extra headache. But by the same token, you don't want to take forever to do this. It's get it done, get it out of the way, and move on to the next, venture. But I feel you can get all this done, all this studying done on your own, or go to Linda. Linda also, by the way, has a plus training too. So if you don't have your A plus, you're thinking about getting it, go in there too for $25. It's like a 16 or 17-hour course. It's like so much stuff. But as far as comparing ITIL with CompTIA exams, which are totally different things, kind of. But I'm speaking from my perspective. If you've taken any of the CompTIA exams, I don't think it's any easier or harder than the ITIL. I mean, there's broader knowledge if you're taking the A plus. It's funny because the whole easy versus hard thing. I never forget I was on a forum one time and someone was bashing people, in regards to A plus. It's like, oh, if you can't pass this, you're an idiot. It's like, brain dead questions. It's like, oh, it's really challenging questions like, what's your mother's name? And then they throw all this stuff in there that no one should ever know. There's, tons of questions about stuff you'll never need to know. And I haven't actually taken the exam yet, but like, well, wait a second. You're telling us how easy it is and how stupid someone is not to pass it, but you've never actually sat for the exam? And you're telling us that all these questions are so difficult, or think questions that no one should ever know. Well, that's what could make it difficult. You have to get good study material. So again, Professor Messer videos, A plus book, which I can't find now. Yeah, A plus. Well, this book here. Again, that book, Exam Cram. Those are always helpful. Everyone knows about Exam Cram. So when you do the Net Plus, there's also Exam Cram. That's pretty good. I like that one. But again, the Net Plus, that one is a really good book. Todd Lamel. It's just good to keep on your shelf and reference guide. And then the Security Plus, which is awesome. That book right there. That's a great book. Daryl Gibson, very good instructor. Actually, you can download practice exams too from him off of Amazon. Thought that was pretty good. And then also, when you take the ITIL exam, there are practice exams you can get for your iPad. There's a couple of those. I don't know the name offhand, but you can search, find them. They're free. They're kind of handy. One of them is actually 40 questions, and right before I took the exam, I think I got 32, and actually I did better than that when I took the ITIL. I think I missed 6. But again, if you're going to study for an ITIL exam, you can boot camp it. I don't think that's beyond. I mean, I did that. So, and I'm no great shakes. I mean, I just boot camped it. Now, if you're going to boot camp it, like with anything else, don't do what I did. And I signed up early Friday morning. I signed up to take it on Thursday. I studied my balls off on Friday. And then Monday I came back and studied again. I lost everything that I had done. So that's why I say I studied for a few days. Because I don't even count that Friday. It was just like a total waste of time. Don't take too much time off if you're going to boot camp it. You need to keep it going and going. But, man, there's boot camps. I've seen boot camps. There's like hundreds, thousands of dollars just to learn ITIL or some CompTIA exam. Don't do it. Just get a book. Just get the books I've shown you are more than enough to pass. The CompTIA, you've got the Professor Messer videos, his PDF files. With the ITIL, I definitely recommend the Linda course. Also, A+, there's actually a course there on Linda. So $25 a month if you want to knock out, let's say you're thinking about taking A+, you're thinking about taking ITIL, $25, you study it and you can go get it and then cancel your subscription. I'm not here to hawk Linda, but it's a pretty good value. And again, just the study material, ITIL. I put a link to the YouTube video that I thought was really helpful. And again, Wikipedia, because you need to know those terms and processes. And take the practice exam, the Linda practice exam on the ITIL site. It's like $40. It's $40. It's 40 questions. When you take the exam, again, you need 26 right. You'll see the objectives on that site. Make sure you go with the objectives. And I will say that about CompTIA too. Make sure you know the objectives. A lot of times you take these exams, and I'm guilty of this too. I didn't even follow the objectives. And I was like, what the hell is this from? This wasn't in my study material. But you know what? The study material didn't cover the objectives. It's not CompTIA's fault. It was my fault. So know the objectives in any exam. This goes for Cisco or anything you're going to take. That's the thing. You don't know this going into it. People tell you to take the objectives and, learn the objectives and reference the objectives, but you just go, oh, no, I'm just going to, use the study guide and go take my exam because I know this stuff. I've been in the field for however amount of time. You need to know how to take these exams. That's an art form into itself. Because I took a Microsoft exam this year, a lot different than taking the CompTIA exam. And I've never taken a Cisco exam, but I'm sure that's a lot different too. They all have their weird little variables going on there. So I hope this has been helpful. I know I went off on a tangent, but that's kind of what I do. So I hope this has been helpful, and I hope to have more training tutorials for you and whatnot and share some experiences. So thanks for watching.